I'm gonna say this one more time, and then I'm not gonna say it again. You guys come in here, you need to start calming down. Okay? It's like out of control. Especially you. You're asking calm questions about your vocab you're doing ahead of time. Who do you think you are?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Hope everyone had a restful break. Bells are not working in the main building this morning. I guess they're working in the career center, but not in the main building, so we're working on that. So just keep track of time for bell changes and whatnot. We'll try to get the bell straightened out. If most of you are like me, around Saturday, you guys are thinking about, okay, Monday is April 12th. Last day is May 7th. Prom's next Friday, the 23rd. I guess the message is we have a lot to do in a short amount of time. So I hope everybody can get back in the habit today. There's a lot of work to be done. Make sure people pass second semester, fourth quarter, and graduate, and all the great things that are coming up in the next few weeks. There's a lot to do. I really don't have time for messing around, so make sure dress code, mask, all those type things are taken care of so that we don't have to waste time dealing with those issues. It's the expectation. We'll just get through it. A lot going on. If you have questions, come see me. Seniors, there are a lot of information will be going out this week about specifics about graduation and tickets and things like that. It will be May 22nd in the Cooney High School Stadium, where you can opt for the small individual ceremony. So a lot of information going out about that. We have about 260 responses to the senior survey. So make decisions based on that. Again, have a great day. A lot going on. Any questions, just feel free to stop one of us, ask the teacher, or come see us. Thanks. Have a great day.
I heard recently that I'm pretty sure that they're going to open it up to people ages 12 and up for the vaccine, to the Pfizer thing, which means that obviously includes all of you guys. So good news there. I hope. For sure. But I heard that from a reliable source. Okay, let's get started here. Go to my usual agenda, class. All right, still have our routine things going on with vocab and grammar. So a lot of people already saw, a lot of people started working on it this morning. Graded usage on lesson 12 about tonight. Make sure you use 10 out of the 15 words. When we move to 15 words, I'm asking you to use 10 of them instead of 8. Have them highlighted as usual and make sure to put them in directions. Grammar, we're finishing up another unit. So our unit on phrases, we've had prepositional phrases, we've had positives, and then 3 types of what we call verbals, which are infinitives, gerunds, and participles. Right? So we've got 5 different kinds of phrases. It's not a high pressure test as usual, right? We're still trying to learn this stuff, and you're still going to have revisit it in future years of English class. So we will have a test on that next week after doing this review, which is basically a practice test on that. So basically, you know, having been given a sentence and there's a phrase in there that's underlined, which of the 5 types of phrases is it? You know, with the overall intention of us being able to use those in our writing. We are about to start another paper today, so I want to actually put this into use too. Okay, so the main thing we're going to do today is talk about our last major paper, the literary analysis. Okay, so we're doing a specific kind of literary analysis. It's not just totally wide open. It's a character analysis. Okay, so I kind of already introduced that to you, and I believe on the sub-plans when I was out the day before spring break, I had you go. I didn't take a grade on or anything, but I was trying to kind of pressure you guys to go ahead and think about it. That doesn't mean you can't change, okay? But choose a character that you want to analyze, you know, what that author is doing with that character. So we'll get into more specifics about that today. Okay, so before I get any further into that, we need to take care of people getting books if they don't already have it. So if you're doing 1984, I've purposely not had you return 1984. Right? Yeah. And then you could do that. But if you're not going to do 1984, you're sure you're going to do Mice and Men, then you people here today can return that, and I can go ahead and cross you off. Okay. Another thing we can do is if you're not doing 1984, then I can give you a Mice and Men book, and I'll write that number down, and we're still keeping track of all this stuff. So we're just going to spend a little time doing this. The three of you, are all of you guys doing 1984, or any of you wanting to do of Mice and Men? I know you probably put it in the sheet. I don't have it open right now. Do any of you need an Of Mice and Men book? Madeline does. Okay, so just Madeline. Okay. Madeline, if you could do me a favor and just send me an email to remind me, and then we can figure out, like, I mean, you can certainly get a copy on your own, but the school has copies for you to use, and you can come pick one up. Okay. But you want to do that pretty soon because we're going to have an assignment this week. Okay. Let's have, I guess we should probably be kind of careful how we do this. So let's just kind of come one at a time, starting this side of the room. If you're doing 1984, you don't need to do anything. If you want to do Of Mice and Men, then come give me your 1984. I'll cross you off and give you a Mice and Men book. Okay, then you do that here. No, 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 no. Most people doing 1984. Okay, you return your previous Of Mice and Men. And anybody else over there? That it? Anyone's mind? Okay, cool. So we've got books. Madeline will get you one soon. You can probably dig up a PDF of one in the meantime if you want to get working. Okay. But otherwise, just try to get that as soon as possible. Or if you can let me know if you have a friend here who's in school who can get one and just drop it off to you, let me know one way or the other today, email, and I'll take care of it as needed. Okay, let's get computers out. You got your computer with you, Fabian? And if we didn't already, let's put our phones away. Okay, get used to doing that. Remember, away is not in our laps. It needs to at least be in your pocket, if not put away in your bag. Okay. So we have an actual assignment sheet for the paper now. You what? Do you have a charger? You just need a plug? Look around. One against this wall anywhere here. Unfortunately, we can't switch seats. Wow. Oh, you know, see how far it's working. Your charge right now. Can you plug that for me? Okay. So we got a bunch of materials in here, and this is not all for you to do right now. Okay, I just wanted to kind of do a big materials dump. So everything that you needed to work on this was all in one place, and then I will be and then I will be making various assignments for the steps to do this. Okay, so basically the steps are, we want to kind of brainstorm different thesis possibilities. We're going to do that today. We want to figure out and finish a thesis and start getting and get some quotes that are going to support that thesis by Thursday. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about an assignment that I'm going to put together for that. We'll complete an outline by next week, and then a final draft, probably the week after that. That's going to be the general schedule. Okay, so I'll be putting up stuff about that as we go, but I want to kind of feel it out, and see how we're doing, because it's it's harder teaching stuff like this in the environment we have. Okay. So the main assignment sheet is, actually, I think I already have that open. Okay, so our overall assignment is to choose one of the following topics and write a 5-paragraph essay given one of the blueprints. Okay, now there are a lot of different possibilities in here. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3 different overall kind of topics, and then within those, there's several different choices, each of which would constitute its own paper. Okay, so this is the A, B, C, and D here are not an outline for general topic 1. Those are 4 different ways you can approach topic 1. Okay, so first one is choose one dynamic protagonist, which would mean a main character who grows and develops and evolves through the course of the book, right? From a text we have read, and then choose one of these things to do with that. You could write a paper about whether the change or changes in the character are subtle or obvious, and analyze 3 ways this is shown throughout. It's always going to be analyzed 3 ways this is shown throughout, right? Because that's going to be a 3-body paragraphs. You could choose that dynamic protagonist and analyze if the changes are significant to the story, if they are only a minor counterpoint, analyze 3 reasons why. Evolving protagonist, changes believable or fantastical, right? Like if you're doing 1984, for instance, there's obviously some stuff that's exaggerated for a point, right? It's not as believable, but it still makes interesting points, right? How does this character learn from or deal with the change? Analyze 3 ways. Okay, so A could be a paper possibility, B could be a paper possibility, C could, and D could. Okay, so I just get a few people confused on this every year. They think, oh, I'm going to choose general topic 1 and then it's my body paragraphs. No, okay. You're going to make what your body paragraphs are about. You're going to come up with your 3 points. Okay, the overall thesis is going to sort of be one of these things. Okay, so as you've chosen your book, right? Maybe you've chosen your character, and now start kind of thinking about, all right, which one of these would work? You can look at this on your own computer while you're doing it if you want, or just watch me. It doesn't matter. And I'm even giving you a stem for the thesis statement. Okay, so and so's changes are. And what part of speech would we put in here? Some kind of adjective or something, right? That would be where you put subtle or obvious or significant, right? Or believable, okay? Things like that. Because of this, this, and this. So the this, and this are probably going to be incidents or developments or realizations, or what you might call epiphanies, right? When a character realizes something significant or big in his or her life. Okay, so that's going to be the 3 ways you're going to support it. And then by turning to those places in the book and finding them, you would pull quotes that are central to that and really kind of prove your point. Okay, all right, second general topic, consider the strengths and weaknesses of a character and choose one of these ideas. What was the character's major flaw? How did it affect his or her life, right? Is the character arrogant or naive or innocent, right? Not that it has to be default, but it could go either one. Or on the other hand, what was the character's major virtue? Do we know that word, virtue? Do we know what virtue means? Can you tell from the context? It would be the opposite of a flaw, right? So virtue, yeah. What? Basically, yeah. Yeah. A way that they are good morally or have a strong character trait or something instead of a flaw. So you can go either way, right? Now, just because you choose this doesn't mean that you're villainizing your character, right? Everybody has weaknesses, and a good character that's written well is not just going to be all good or all bad, right? Like bad TV shows or movies have characters that are just they're just kind of all good or all bad, right? It's not really very interesting because people aren't like that, right? They're a mix. Okay, and then the thesis would look something like this. So-and-so's major flaw or major virtue is too naive or arrogant or cocky or whatever, which affects his or her life because of this, this, and this. Okay? When he does this, when this happens, when he realizes this, stuff like that. Can I get the idea? General topic 3, choose a character other than the protagonist of the text and answer one of the following. Okay. Now, how obscure of a character can you pick, right? How minor of a character can you pick? You can choose as minor of a character that you can still get a good paper out of and that there's enough to write about, right? So if you challenge yourself with a minor character and you get a lot out of it and there's just enough there to analyze and you still use that to kind of analyze the whole feel and theme of the whole book, that would be very impressive, right? But don't strain yourself where you pick something and then you realize, wow, there's just not enough thing to happen with this character. Okay, so it's up to you. I'll be conferencing with you guys all about it. So, all right, and then the general requirements overall, you're going to have an introduction with some kind of opening device, as you always do. General comments about the character that lead to this thesis statement. You want to identify the author and title of the work, of course, as you lead up to that. Use italics each time you mention the title of the work, not quotation marks. It's a novel, italics. The thesis statement is the last sentence or two of the introduction. And obviously preview your body paragraphs. This, and this. Preview what your 3 body paragraphs will be about. Each body paragraph starts with a topic sentence that kind of echoes that thesis, those 3 things in that same order. Follow the topic sentence with evidence from the novel. Use examples from the story to support your topic sentence. We want quotes. Include at least 2 direct quotations from the novel in each body paragraph. Give proper commentary for the direct quotation used. Include each paragraph, summarize and clinch your sentence to wrap up your ideas. So we will have parenthetical references after the quotes, but it's very simple. When you're just writing about a novel, all you have to put in a parenthetical reference is a page number, okay? Just a number, 52 or something. But you do have to do that. Okay? This is definitely a situation where you turn in a paper that doesn't have parenthetical references, it's not a 50. You have to do that. All right, conclusion, restate your thesis statement, add some final thoughts about your character and or the novel, as well as an interesting closing advice. Okay, it's the usual construction of a 5-paragraph paper. So let me just pause at this point. And it would be good if you guys maybe went ahead and opened up a Google Doc. If you prefer to write on a piece of paper when you're brainstorming, that's fine too. But it might as well be a Google Doc, right? So you can just kind of have all your stuff in one place. And then when I start, basically, I don't have the assignment details up yet, but Wednesday, I definitely want to see that everybody has a formally written thesis. Okay, now that's just a sentence. Okay, all it means is you're really just kind of filling in the blanks on one of these stems using one of the ideas from one of these general topics. Okay, but I definitely want to see that by Wednesday, and I also want you to have started getting your quotes. And by Thursday, our next full-size class, when we're all back in here again, I do want you to have 2 quotes for each of your main 3 points. Okay, so you want the thesis written. And then I want 2 quotes supporting that, 2 quotes supporting that, and 2 quotes supporting that. Okay, by Thursday. That's enough time, I think. Does that make sense? Do we understand? I'll make it a little more clear in the directions, but that's the gist of what we're doing. Okay, so let's just kind of start playing around with that. I think maybe the best thing would be, if you're sure about which character you're going to do, is kind of test drive several of these. Another thing you can do is you can copy this, right? Highlight it, copy it, paste it in. You could also copy and paste all of this or sections of it, or you can pop back and forth, but get a doc going where you're kind of test driving a few theses. Okay, let's spend, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes on that right now, and I'll kind of circulate, get my attendance taken, and we'll see if you guys have questions and what you're coming up with. Okay, once you get this going, got your last paper, 9th grade English on the way. Let's stretch. Novel that, good. Maybe some of you don't have those with you. You don't want to borrow an 1984 book just for right now in class to get back to me. You may need that. I'm going to write this down, so just make sure you're getting back. Anybody else need one? Just kind of look at it right now. Just kind of thumb through there, refresh your memory. Never named for but you know what? That'd be a great paper because she's in plenty of enough scenes, right? She's actually a pretty complex character, especially when she's Ruby Glenberg backstory, right? She's kind of jilted by the new cruiser or whatever. Right, that's around the corner. I'm hoping we can share a few of these, just to kind of hear some. You don't need to be self-conscious about someone like stealing your idea because it doesn't matter if someone else is doing the same topic as you. You know, who cares? But go ahead if you want some. So Roman had the idea of writing a paper, if you didn't hear, writing a paper on Curly's wife, which sounds like actually a really interesting idea. She's never actually named, yeah, but that's probably kind of on purpose because everyone just kind of looked at her as an object. But she's in plenty enough scenes, even though she's never named. It'd be a good, like, other than the protagonist character. What would be some other than the protagonist characters in 1984 that would be good to write about?
The old man that runs the.
Charrington? Maybe. That would be a challenge. Not quite characterized. I think O'Brien would be a perfect good choice.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Obviously, the main characters are Winston and Julia, right? But O'Brien would be a good, like, kind of minor character choice.
I forget his name, the guy that was really smart.
No, Sim?
Yeah.
Yeah. Parsons was a dumb one, and Sim was the smart one, the real dedicated one. Looked like the vast majority of people for overall on the sheet were writing about Winston. But you can change. You're not committed to whatever you put on the commentary. Put that on the. So you thought Lennon before, but you thinking Curly's wife now, Roman? A lot of Winston. A lot of Winston. Obviously, George or Lenny. They both. I think George is the main protagonist, but Lenny's definitely kind of a co-main character. Winston. O'Brien. You sticking with that, Lauren? You gonna do O'Brien? Yep.
I was thinking about like how decisive he is without trick people into thinking that he's good.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a good question. I think you could look at it. I think you would yeah, you wouldn't exactly call it a virtue. You know, if you want to substitute a different word besides virtue in there, you know, just that he's a powerful or a strong character, because it does allow him to do and get what he wants, right? That's kind of where you're coming from there. Yeah. Even though it's like totally evil. So you can slightly augment any of these theses, you know, to fit something that, yeah. Definitely not a virtue. The ability to deceive people. He's a horrifying character. So in case it's not obvious, when we have breakfast, it's okay to, you know, take off your mask, but be careful while your mask is off, you don't get up, like walk around the room with your mask off. I would remind myself of that too. Fine. If you kind of get to the point where you feel like you've brainstormed enough stuff, there is other materials you can kind of look over while we're here. Like there's a rubric here that shows how you do grade overall. Eventually, I'll show you guys, probably on Wednesday, I'll go and show you guys a model. That'll make this a little more easy to digest, seeing a finished product. We're also holding back on starting new reading this week because I want you guys to concentrate on this. Okay, so let's make sure we do it, get it done. Anybody watching this recording later, since some of you are absent, when you come in Wednesday, you actually, by tomorrow night, in other words, you need to have submitted a complete thesis. I'll be putting up an assignment post for that today. But remember, that's just a sentence, okay? Thumbing through the book, reminding yourself of what happened, and filling in those 3 points, with some phrases that reference parts of the book. That's the work that you need to do between now and then. I think it'd be a good idea to go ahead and start finding quotes, because by Wednesday night, so we can talk about Thursday in class, you need to have found 2 quotes for each of the 3 points. And what do you want to go ahead and do while you get quotes? What do you want to always get down? What? Yeah, get that page number so you don't have to go back and find it all over again. Copy and pasting those stems. Still something to work with. Do they got one they want to show you or anything that you already have written? There you go. What's the overall kind of change that you're going to concentrate on? The thesis kind of doesn't push you towards saying that. Maybe it's kind of 2 different ways you could do it. I guess the main way could be changes in the way that even though he has downfall later, he has a lot of changes where he's waking up from his stupor that he was in, right? Even though that ends badly, he does get some changes where he's so you can do from that, I guess. Yeah. Anybody else? Yep. That's good. Maybe control people. It could be to allows him to pretend he's somebody he's not. Or get people to trust him or whatever. Yeah, maybe decisiveness is too. Maybe you wanted to say his overall intelligence or confidence or something. That will allow you to choose within that whole thing, No? I really think it's good if we all try to come up with maybe 3 different thesis ideas and then really think about them and figure out, choose the best one to show me by Wednesday. You can always email me too. Folks at home, you guys have any questions or anything? Kind of understand where we're going with this so far? Okay. If you don't think you do, I'm going to let the Zoom go. Okay. You guys can work more on your own or just, get ready for your next class or whatever. And we're just going to be hanging here working on it too. Okay. Thank you for coming.